right. Hey, everybody, let's grab a seat now. You can have some more later. Seriously, you can have some more later. Thank you. Hi, everyone. Welcome. Alumni, welcome. I see you guys all chose to sit in the back. Wonderful. In just a moment, I just want you guys to briefly come up and introduce yourselves. We are recording so that Mr. Kriya can watch later. As you guys know, he's been out, but I wanted him to be able to watch it. So I'm going to kind of strong-arm some of you guys into sharing, if that's okay, because Mr. C would like to watch it. Perfect. So like Mr. Mack was talking about, it's very important just to be able to come back to a place where you feel home, where you feel like you had some type of foundation. And I'm hoping in just a moment here, these alum are going to be able to share a little bit with you guys of kind of where their journey has taken them after they left the halls of Tri-City Christian Academy. So alum, if you guys could come up and just quickly introduce yourselves, and then once everybody's had a chance to hear your name, you can share your story. Okay, so come on up. So I'll call you out by name, that's okay. I see, no, you guys gotta come up so they can see you. So we have AJ, Jason, we have Nat Niall, Cyrus, Caleb, Scotty, Harry, Emma, you can get in here. I know we see you every day, but you're still alum as well. I know I just introduced them, but I'm gonna give you guys just a second to share a little bit about kind of where things have gone for you, and maybe to impart some kind words to our high school students. So here's how it'll go. If you just come up, say your name, and say something brief, that would be awesome. If you want to sit, there's a whole empty-ish row there. Oh yeah, look at Mrs. Mack. Everybody smile. Thank you, because I'm up here. I can't do the picture taking. All right, I'm going to yield the podium. Like I said, feel free to make yourselves comfy up in this front row, guys. If you want to walk and talk, I have that option as well. We have technology. All right, who wants to go first?
Just before they do that, can I just go down here for
Oh, well, we can tilt the camera, but yeah, slide more center, guys, and hit your spot and pose. No, just me? Okay. And seriously, if you guys want to sit, just don't run all the way back in the back of the room, okay? Okay.
No
all right.
promises.
No, Cyrus, from you, I expect nothing less. Who's going first?
Not me.
All right, AJ.
I figured I was going to be the first pick. Definitely saw that coming. So yeah, I am AJ Crone. I am class of 2022, and through my time here at Tri-City, I've learned that it's not always easy. Have to take life one step at a time, and where God leads you is where you'll go, and it won't happen slow. It'll happen very fast. So I just say advice to you guys, enjoy your time here while you can, because if you don't, you're going to miss it when you're gone.
Not yet. Emma. No, Jason. Wait, Caleb. Thank you, Caleb.
I have no problem getting up and speaking. So I graduated in 2016. So that was 6 years ago. Since then, I went on to get my associates in business at Granite State College. And then I got my bachelor's in business management with a minor in finance at Granite State College also. After that, I started looking for careers, the normal 9-to-5 job. And where that really led me to was realizing I wanted to do more of my life than just work a job, clock out, and then just go live the status quo. So I started some of my own business ventures. I sell real estate, I sell insurance, I have my own insurance agency, and I've got another project that's coming in 2023. In addition to that, I am working on becoming a licensed minister through the Assemblies of God, so one day I will be a pastor as well. And yeah, I think that's all I have to share. Oh, piece of advice for you guys. So the habits that you build now in high school will either make or break you when you get to college and into the real world. So if you start building up positive habits, even like small little things like making your bed every morning or like working out 30 minutes a day, those habits will transfer as you get older. And if I could look back at my life, that was one thing I would tell my younger self is like, take the time to do the little things now. So when you get older, all those things will be seamless and you can start moving on to bigger and bigger things. So that's all I got.
Yeah? Anybody else? Don't get all shy.
Me and Nat go last because,
Okay, yep. Well, actually, Mrs. Mack technically has seniority. She can go last.
just teacher doesn't count. She's here every day.
She is, but I feel like, I don't know. You guys can't flex that. You can't flex that. I'm the oldest alum in the building. Okay. Who else? There's only a few of you.
Fourth and younger ones first.
Or No? Okay. Thank you, Jason.
My name is Jason Shute, and I graduated in 2021, which is about 2 years ago. Right now, I'm in Purdue University, trying to still pursuing my degree of physics. I'm in the STEM field. And what I'm planning to do after that is I want to do grad school. So unlike a lot of you guys, already graduated, I'm still in my college. So there's nothing much I can share. All I can share is what I have felt in college career. But piece of advice is that take your schoolwork important, because when it's in college, no one cares about your schoolwork. If you get a 0, no one cares. No one will come to you and say that you need to get a better grade, because they go everything by regulations. Because professors have their own stuff to do, and if you miss your assignments and if you don't talk to them or anything like that, they won't care anything. So that's like the best advice I can tell you. And another thing is try to work with people, because that's basically what you're doing every day in college. You're trying to, they're trying to let you work with people, even though you don't like it, but you still have to do it. So that's my advice.
So most of you guys know me. I graduated last year. I'm now attending Rhode Island College, majoring in accounting and wrestling. There's not too much going on right now. I mean, I just finished my first semester, A's and B's, which is good. But if I were to give a piece of advice, I would take 2 things from Jason and Caleb that just spoke. Caleb said, make habits now. And he's totally right about that. And Jason said that when you're in college, nobody cares about your work but you. So right now, while you can, I would make a habit of doing your work on time and not waiting for your parents or your teachers to tell you to do it, because in college, nobody cares if you pass in your work on time. You know, your professor will just give you a 0. I know plenty of kids in college right now that just don't care because nobody's coming up to them and telling them, hey, you need to get this done, or this is late. They just don't do anything, and I'm probably not going to see them next semester. So I would make the habit right now of turning your work in on time and not having other people tell you when it needs to get done, and take responsibility. So, yeah, that's it.
You can come up with a buddy. No buddies at all? All right, well then tell me something about Harry. When did you graduate? Yeah. 2000 when? Last year? 2022. That's right. It's been a whole few months since y'all walked across the stage. Where are you going to school, Harry? We're doing this interview style.
Indiana University of Huntington.
And your major? Chemistry major. Heyo. That's an option out there, guys. Chemistry. Harry, you could just come up and finish this interview up here, since I already gave the people a little introduction. Do you have any advice for them? No? Ditto what the other guys said? Okay, well, that's Harry, guys. He's a man of few words, but they're very poignant words. What? You love the words? Those were good words. All right, well, I know you guys see Emma all the time, but I did kind of bully Emma into putting a name tag on, so maybe she'll let me bully her into talking from the podium. Dude, 6 months ago you were up here. 6 months. That was it? That was it. Okay. So Emma graduated last year. Those of you that were here last year, you know Emma. She's back there. I'm going to point her out now. Everybody just turn and look awkwardly. Listen, girl, the power is yours to come up and make this less awkward, but you let me take over, so that's a bad idea. And Emma has been working diligently on just life and college stuff and working, right? She's been helping out here at school. And I think all of you guys would agree that, when the opportunity to help and give back to your school presents itself, that you jump on that, right? In whatever way it looks, whether it's coming and letting Miss T embarrass you, or, giving at the auction, or subbing classes. Hey, if you guys want to get on our sub list while you're on break, let's go. But Emma's been really, really helpful just with keeping things moving here. So I know you guys see her every day, but she also walked across the stage and did the Tri-City thing, and now she's out being an adult. So that's Emma. Yay! I'm just going to point out, you guys would get up here for Mr. Korea, so I'm just getting all sadsies that no one's coming up to talk. So I think, without further ado, it's time for you two, Chuckles. Okay.
Hello? Okay, sweet. Can y'all hear me? Yeah. My name is Nal Johannes. I graduated in 2015. I went to community college in New York for a little bit, but I dropped out, and I just did some odd jobs here and there. I feel kind of the same with Caleb. And right now, with what he was saying, with wanting to do more than just, maintain the status quo and all that stuff. And right now I'm in recovery, so I'm not really working because I messed up my shoulder. But during my recovery, I've been thinking too, and one thing that I want to share to any students here, especially people who are genuinely of the faith, or have a strong belief, do remember that at the end of the day, every institution that carries out a belief, that's their perspective. And to build your foundation on others' perspectives will always rob you. You want to build that foundation from within. And that's something that I want, because belief is such a strong thing. It can confuse a lot of people, So that's just kind of the advice that I want to leave people with, is that while you're growing through life and developing yourself, don't lose sight of the real goal. And at the end of the day, you want to be a good person to yourself or the people around you, And I think that's something that should just always be made aware. And that's all I got to say. Thank you.
All right, first I want to start. Brian, remember our senior prank when, didn't we put an air horn in your chair in your office?
Yeah.
I want to make sure that was
the one
accurate.
That, put the live fish. Was that?
No.
That was Karen.
We did an air horn. We did a
Thanks,
bunch of
Caleb. That was
planks
you
throughout the
guys.
school. We boarded up the school. We did a lot.
Yeah. Don't give me ideas.
Get ideas. Do better than what we did. That's all I ask.
We had a carpenter, so let's just put holes in walls.
Yeah. Somehow we let you guys graduate after that. I don't know.
We never got a call after, actually. We were sitting at my house waiting for the phone call.
Yeah. No. Instead, we were stewing in person.
Yeah, we kind of figured that, but yeah. My name is Cyrus Warren. I graduated 2015. Back when I was in high school, I was applying for Manchester Community College to go into construction, and they ended up shutting down that program. So then I ended up finding, because I had a bunch of pamphlets, some Job Career Day, place that, it's like a fair that the Summers with Building Trades program that I graduated from had, and I had a bunch of pamphlets in there, and one of them was from the Carpenters Union. At the time, when I joined, it was $16 an hour, and then my benefits on top of that, and free training. So at the time, I was like, okay, that's good money. Not looking at anything really too much future-wise, but what my advice to you guys is always plan ahead. Never plan for the first step in front of you. Plan 10 steps ahead. Because even though I kind of like fell into the union by accident, once I started kind of like sitting down with other people in it, going to the meetings and participating, I started realizing all the benefits that it had. And now that I've graduated from the union, I'm a journeyman carpenter. In New Hampshire, I make $32 an hour in my check, and then I get $1.50 in my annuity per hour. I get a pension after 30 years, so when I put 30 years of work in, at 50 years old, I can retire, full package. And I get great health benefits. Pretty much, and it depends on where I work too. If I work in Boston, I make $53.87 an hour, and then almost $10 in my annuity per hour. And an annuity, if you guys don't know, it's like a 401k. It's like a retirement package, but it's guaranteed to you. So whereas a 401k is based in a stock, the annuity is ran by your union. So as long as the union's still functioning, they're not a company, they're an organization. So it gives you protections. So if a job wants to fire you because there's a lot of jobs that'll ask you to do stuff that's either unsafe or against the rules. And some companies, they don't care about that. If they want to tell you, hey, climb up 50 feet without a harness, if you don't do it, we're firing you. They can't do that to me because I would just make a phone call and I'd be back on the job the next day. So it's just those things. And then there's like, and my other piece of advice is that people that give you advice, even though it may sound good, they might be good people. You might trust them through and through, but it may not be the best advice for you. The best thing you can do is and even with your path of finding your answers biblically or spiritually, you got to find yourself before you find something else. You can't find your destination if you don't know where you are. So
Another thing is you can't build yourself by copying a doctrine. You have to always interpret it.
yeah, you have to find who you are and apply the things to you, because it's like applying a part to a car that the part doesn't belong to. It's never gonna fit. It's never gonna work. It's just not gonna make sense. And then it's not gonna help you in the end. But if you know yourself, then you can properly apply those things to your life. If you don't know yourself, you can't effectively use any tools to help you. So that's basically my advice to you guys. Really, all I can think of, really.
Oh, that's great. Thanks, Cyrus.
No problem.
And I have to add, so those carpentry skills, Cyrus did his MDA, Master of Dominion Arts, the sword. Didn't you? Or you built us those tables. I mean, they've since been deceased because children jumped on them all the time. But you did use your carpentry for good, not just for boarding up doors in the sanctuary. Yeah, even better, in the drywall. It was great, Cyrus. Yeah, but I wasn't going to do that.
And you know the white too, so you don't have to paint it after. Joint compound dries white.
He thought ahead, guys. He thought ahead. We have two more alum that they were all invited, but those of you who know Nate, Paul, and Hannah Paul, she was Hannah DeRoche when she was a student here, they just had a baby yesterday, guys. So congrats if you're watching, Nate and Hannah. And I saw a couple other alum around, but I think they maybe got camera shy. I don't know. So we've heard some advice. We've heard a couple funny anecdotes, and I want a few more funny anecdotes from you guys. So, and we can go wireless if you don't want to get up. If you had to share one really epic Mr. Korea story, and the mic is open, or I can bring the mic to you if you don't want to stand, but I would welcome epic Mr. Korea stories, or, any other teacher you may have a funny story for. But I think Mr. Korea stories make everybody chuckle. Caleb, you look like you have one. Do you want this one, or you want here? Okay.
So we had a class, I think it was, I think it was economics, honors economics and government. And I think it was in January or February, and it was right after lunch, And we went to our class, and Mr. Creo wasn't there. And it was like a group of, like, from freshmen to seniors. And we were all just sitting in the class, just, like, playing games, like, talking, doing whatever. And, like, 30 minutes went by, and we're like, where is Mr. Creo? What is happening here? And, like, there was, like, 5 to 10 minutes left on the class. Mr. Correa walks in, he opens the door, he sees us all there. He goes, what are you guys doing here? And we looked at him and we're like, we're here for your class. And he was like, oh, is that now? I was like, yeah, we've had the schedule for like 6 months. So.
What do you mean this is class?
What else? I'm sure there's others. Thank you, Caitlin. Seriously? Funny Mr. C stories?
I got a lot.
Well, Nettie, you didn't graduate yet, but we might need to take your funny story if these guys don't give me one.
What prank did we do on Mr. Korea?
Yeah, I was gonna. No? Okay, well, 2020, I know Becky Roger and those kids, right? I'm gonna see if I can summarize the story. They just were all in a class and one by one walked out, and he had like maybe 2 students, and he looks up and was like, where's the rest of my class? That was pretty funny. Was that their prank, Mrs. Roger?
One of them, they had a few things that they did to poor Mr. C.
Oh, Mr. C. Don't get any ideas, underclassmen and middle schoolers. All right, what else? Somebody else has to have a funny Mr. C story.
One time he was late for our class, and we took his chair out of the middle classroom. That's where his classroom was, and we went. I'm not sure if his office is still there, but you know that little roof over there? Yeah, we took the chair, we put it up there. And he comes to my classroom, and he's like, "Where's my chair?" And me, Dad, and I think it was Brandon and Michael. I think we wanted to put the chair up there, and we're like, "I don't know." He's like, "If you guys don't bring back my chair, you're suspended." And we're like, I'm like, we kind of threw it up on the roof ceiling.
He was a good sport.
Yeah, he really is a good sport.
There's a lot of times we should have probably gotten it to 10.
Oh, yeah.
So his office is no longer in that room.
It would have been worth it. I would have took that out.
He knew at the end of the day we would have treated him right at the end.
All right, Jason, do you have one? All right, that was a funny story. Don't do that to my chair.
We put an air horn to your chair, so, like, I mean, if you want us to go any further, we could.
So I think it was my last year. I was taking Mr. C's American literature class. I think there was one article called I think it was called something scriptwriter. Bartleby the
that sounds
scriptwriter.
right,
Yeah. You remember that, right? A lot of you remember that probably, but I was taking that class I remember it. Yeah, I was taking that class, and there's one famous scripting that is just I prefer not to. So when I was in the class and Mr. C said something, I was just like, I prefer not to. I prefer not to. I was joking, but I was like, I prefer not to do that. Not every time, so. It was just a joke, not.
Yeah, no disrespect meant. All right. Any other funny Mr. C stories? Any funny teacher stories? No?
It's not funny, but I find it a cool story. I don't know if I should encourage it.
Yeah, I was going to say, if it's not going to edify the current student population.
It'll gas up Mr. Edgar.
Oh, poor Mr. Edgar is currently at the other building. Any other bits of... Right. Any other bits of advice or anecdotes or stories that you guys have that you want to share? I appreciate you guys coming and hanging out. I don't want to kick you out if you got more to share.
I mean, I remember when Alex was an English teacher, and you'd like have like a tally system for how many times we'd disobey in class, and so he told me to stop. I was already at 3, so I just walked up, put like 5 more. I'm like, all right, I'm covered for a good 10 minutes.
Oh, man. Yeah,
He wasn't really happy about that, but he didn't yell at me for it, so I don't think I got in trouble. Like,
all right. Well, I guess then I'm going to open you guys up to questions from the students. No, this is the alumni sharing time with the microphone. Nope, you can share yours later, and you can tell them. But nope, the alumni are going to share. So, students, questions. Anybody have any questions for any of these alum? Anything they said inspire you? No? Do you want me to invite them to come eat your party food? No. Then ask some questions. question over there. Yeah.
How does it feel to be a wrestler?
Scott, how does it feel to be a wrestler? That's the question.
It feels good. I mean, it's pretty tough, but it's fun. It's a lot of fun.
I think I should join.
Do it, yeah, definitely.
That was a good question. Thank you. Talia.
Do you ever get any injuries from wrestling?
Wrestling injuries. She's asking if you got any wrestling injuries.
I have not gotten any injuries yet, but yeah, I know a lot. One of my best friends, he just tore his labrum, so he's out for the season.
I don't know if they know what that body part is.
It's like the back of your shoulder.
Thank you. Thank you for the anatomy lesson, Scott. I have another question back there, Antonio.
Is it scary to be high up on construction sites?
That's for Cyrus.
Sometimes depends if things were built right or not. Even when things aren't built right, it's no, but sometimes I have to go dismantle what someone else built.
Oh, good. We have questions. I love it. Is this thing unmuted? I'm being mobile now. Is this unmuted? Marvelous. We'll take a question over here.
What was the worst thing either of you did for like a prank on anybody?
All of you guys, worst thing you did for a prank. I think they already shared the worst of it, right?
Oh, no. Absolutely not. I'll be honest.
All right. Okay. Perfect. I have another question over here.
Did Mr. C ever actually suspend you?
Did any of you get suspended by Mr. C?
I surprisingly never got suspended, which I was really surprised.
That's a great question. Back here.
Why did you guys board up the school?
Why did they board up the school?
Here we go.
Oh boy.
Our plan was for our senior.
All right, keep it super short.
I don't need the mic when I talk.
Well, YouTube. Mr. C is watching.
He can hear me.
True, he knew you were here. He didn't need to.
Okay, so we decided we had a few ideas. Some of them were kind of bad. So bad is like a little over the top, and we probably would have gotten our baby in a lot of trouble.
Too close to vandalism.
Yeah. So we decided the simplest solution was to go to Home Depot, buy a bunch of scrap lumber from the coal bin. We decided to break into the school like early in the morning.
We had
Which were like
keys.
2, 3. No, we went through the window.
Oh yeah,
We climbed up to the window, and then once we got in, we opened the doors, and then we just started boarding up each class, and we brought all the desks outside from the upstairs back. Then we brought them all in the hallway, stacked the whole hallway full of chairs and desks.
The reason why was that it's inconvenient. That was the whole prank.
Yeah,
We
we
wanted
literally
to be
wanted
like,
school to we wanted the other classmen to at least miss a class or something, just so they had some free time while the teachers were busy putting the school back
Did
together.
we put desks
Just
in
an
the
all
hallway?
work, to be honest. So then,
Did we put desks in the hallway?
we're not seniors. That's up to you guys. This is your way. You guys gotta do better than us. But don't get in trouble. Do better than us, but don't get in trouble. That's all I gotta say. But we did that. We caught a bunch of little. I'm not sure if you guys remember Ed, Ed, and Eddie, but the little planes.
Yeah, we cut up
We cut
planes.
up and
then we
threw
drew
them,
them.
like at least
Literally
20 or 30
did.
planes and placed them all over the school. Underclassmen to this day still have
The
them, which is
whole
amazing.
plan, the whole idea behind the plan was like, how much can we do realistically that's really annoying but is not illegal? Like,
What about breaking and entering?
well, okay.
5-year statute of limitations is over than 10.
We took advantages.
Thank you. That was.
Then there were firecrackers underneath the toilet seats. And everyone on our chair. Did we put something in Mr. Free's chair?
There's a lot of
Because that was like Michael's assignment. Michael was booby trapping the teachers' offices and chairs. I was doing the boarding up in the plant.
If he did something to Mr. Korea, it definitely wasn't that memorable. It was probably just something like.
We all had our own assignments because we had very little time to do everything. And we wanted to be out of here. Like, I think our time, we came here at 2.
Oh yeah, like.
We left at 4 because we were like, we need to be out of here before a single soul enters this building. Like, we need to be gone. So we came in our truck with a ladder, we did all that, we left, and then we just sat in my house and waited for a phone call that never came. The only photo that did came is that I was valedictorian, so I was like, what? Oh my gosh, we just did that, and they didn't say a word about that? I'm like, okay, something's wrong.
Thank you. That's good. You guys are getting ideas. Let me just remind you. I will bring the full hammer of justice down upon you.
How many times / have you ever been called a nincompoop by Mr. C, and why?
Oh, you gotta raise your hand. He doesn't say squid anymore.
Oh, that died finally?
That one died. All right, Hannah's got a question. Nice and loud.
How exactly did you rig the air?
Oh my gosh. All right, guys. You will see them later. You can ask these specific great questions. And if an air horn gets attached to my chair, you're all fired.
I'm Union, you can't fire me.
Mrs. Rosier! You gotta raise your hand so I know.
It kinda is. How did the pranks feel?
How did it feel to prank everybody?
How'd it feel? Amazing.
1, we are about to lose our window privileges. 2, what's the worst dare you've done?
Worst dare you've ever done? No, actually, no.
I don't really do dares. I
was gonna say, you're
I
not.
don't listen to do dumb stuff from other people. At least if I do something dumb, I can take my own L and be like, all right, I learned my own lesson.
Lesson learned. Got it. All right, Maddox.
Which window did you come through?
Oh my, no. All right, any serious questions for the alum? Any serious questions? I understand that, but
It's serious to them at this time.
some of you guys, not to be mean, are not coordinated enough to walk upstairs, so I don't need you trying to replicate these
Hey,
pranks.
I know 4-year-old cockroaches are the same way. It doesn't change.
I have the perfect question. When you guys did the board prank, was Miss Wilson existing here?
Oh.
No, it was Mr. B, Mrs. McDougal, Alex Gilligan, Brand, Mr. C, Joe Clark. Who else was here? Mr. Shayla. Who took over the computer class? Anyone took that over?
What was your most embarrassing moment?
Here?
Yes.
Oh. Alright. Even though I got in trouble for it, one time I was sitting probably I think either first or second row. I had a pocket knife on me. It was a very large pocket knife. The blade was probably about this long, and I sat down and it slid out of my pocket and clicked open right in front of Joe Clark. I sat in my chair and I'm like, I'm taking this out. And I'm not gonna do it, I'm not gonna say it. I'm not gonna just taking the L. That was the most embarrassing moment. Come on, that can be worse than mine.
No? Okay.
A lot of things could be worse.
I don't know, a foreign blade that just clicks over in front of your teacher.
Watching the clock, we'll take a few more questions, and then we gotta learn something, and then have class parties.
How much did the boards
No! Well, actually, lumber was much cheaper back then.
Yeah, lumber was cheaper and it was Cuban lumber, so it was like pennies on the dollar.
Oh, I have a question from an educator, so it's going to be a very wonderfully poignant question.
So my question for the alumni is, have you found what you learned here at Tri-City spiritually, has that carried into what you do now, your lives now? Have you taken that with you, or have you found maybe that isn't, you've sort of strayed away, come back? What have you taken with you from here, from the Christian perspective, into your lives today?
That's a great question.
One thing I've learned is no matter the type of person you are into, you can always learn something from someone. Being in certain areas, you definitely learn that there are very, very sketchy people in very dangerous situations, and Even though some people try to avoid all those situations, it's never gonna happen. So the thing is learn from them and be ready for them. Like, even if, like, there'll be people that you meet that are probably terrible people, you can still learn from them though. Because every person has some type of knowledge. Some people are weak in some areas, some people are strong, and whether they use it for good or bad is up to them, but the knowledge is still there.
Thank you. AJ?
All I can say is that you learn something new every day. As like I can even say from here, a few things have carried over into college. Like my work ethic, I can definitely say as far as work, I need to improve a little bit on that. But as far as the other aspects go, I can say that it's a lot of things that definitely carried over, and it's helped me a lot through this first semester. So.
What I want to say is that this high school has taught me a lot of things that, well, not only high school, but there's all of this faith taught me a lot of stuff to realize what is right, what is wrong. One thing I realized when I go to college is that there's so many things that's all of our imagination that's surprisingly wrong. A lot of people don't realize that. It's good that we carry this kind of faith when we learn in high school and then just to bring it to the college, just for the fact that we know what's right, what's wrong, and then what should we do, what should we not do. Because I've seen countless people that's doing the wrong thing, well, they didn't even realize that's the wrong thing.
In terms of like a faith-based thing, the biggest thing that I guess having been from this school has helped teach me, kind of like in a counterintuitive way though, is like going back to like the idea of falling to the trap of just trying to copy a doctrine, really fine-tuning and really paying attention to the types of questions that you're asking yourself as you're, interpreting faith or anything else. That's the biggest takeaway that I, not directly through the school, but through my mistakes in this school. So in a way, thank you to the school, right? But my own personal mistakes through the school, it really helped me better understand like how to ask questions for myself in the ways that I need.
I'm gonna stand up. I feel weird
You're fine, Caleb. Thank you.
sitting down and talking. So I've shared my story before, how I walked away from my faith after I left here and I came back to my faith. And what that has really taught me in like almost outside looking into other people's lives now, I see like just a brokenness and just an emptiness that honestly I was feeling. I was chasing things that would just like leave me feeling broken and empty inside when I was in college. And coming from the outside, God, like the story of the prodigal son, like the father just completely reinstates the son into full sonship. So he like welcomes him back and doesn't make him be a servant. He brings him back fully into the household. And that's what kind of I've experienced, but also in my careers day to day now, it's like I have to show that love to other people because of the grace I've been given. So it gives me a greater purpose for what I'm doing, because in every encounter, I want people to look at me and see Jesus, see someone who actually loves others, not, there's a lot of bad stigma in the culture when people talk about Christians. They'll say like, for instance, some waiters will say like, the worst time to work is on a Sunday after church, because all the churches are going to come to their restaurant. And that's like heartbreaking when you really think about it, because like we should be loving others, we should be kind to others. And so that's kind of the biggest thing that I've taken from my faith, is just like you understand where people are at in those stages of life, and now try and meet them where they're at and show them grace, show them kindness, show them love. So
Thank you.
Yeah, one more thing is that some of the people that might even be negative could be Christians themselves, and those are the hardest ones to determine, because they put on a front or a fake face to make once they make you feel comfortable personally, but to fit in a certain area, but their heart's not genuinely in it, and by doing that, they're basically like poisoning everyone around them, not literally, but it will affect, because their faith isn't genuine, so everything they're doing is self-motivated. So if they're judging someone, and they may be doing it out of the Bible, but they're doing it for their own benefit, not for someone else's benefit. And those are the negative side effects. Like those are the side effects that we're facing now of what Caleb was saying, that Christians are now viewed as unfortunately a lot of them do that now.
And I'd like to add, I think another thing that like really gives a bad reputation, and I don't want anyone to I don't want to be called fake. I'll just make it, that me personally, I'm not a faith follower, but I'm not mean. But I will say that I think a big thing that really gives people that perception and that, I guess, wanting to pull away or just avoid is that I think what a lot of people fall into the trap of is that when they read these doctrines and learn these scriptures, they try to, in their own power, make that a reality. When at the core of the entire thing, it's like, that's why I led the thing saying, it's like any institution is the perception and the interpretation of these words. So when you fall into the trap of chasing other followers and viewing them as the physical manifestation of God, you're gonna trip.
Yeah, thank you guys.
And I think that's a very important distinction people have to teach themselves, and it's very hard.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So faith is more, I want to say this, faith is more than just having these services, reading the Bible. It's a personal relationship with God, right? And you read these stories in the Bible, and when you start taking them seriously, you read the story of David, how he killed Goliath and all that, and how all these people in the Bible, although they weren't great themselves, that because they followed a great God, that they did amazing things. The more you devote your time, the more you devote your relationship to God, the more just amazing things will happen in your life that makes your life almost look like a Bible story. I'm not going to share many of them because this is being recorded and I don't want to put people out there like that, but I have a lot of stories. If you ever want to know, I'd be happy to share just after this service is over. So yeah.
Thank you.
Save the prank.
Yeah, with the pranks too, he said. Do you guys want to answer that question?
What was the first part of the question again?
What have you taken from here, from the Christian perspective that translated into what you're doing out of your life and how you're living your life now as being?
Well, one thing I really miss is being able to have service every day, and I thought that really helped me. It was just a great way to start the day, I felt like. And going into college, obviously it's hard. I don't know anybody. It was my first week, and then the coolest thing happened. I had my team had to do a community service thing, and anyway, only two of me and another teammate ended up doing it, and so we were there. We were helping out, and there was this other group there, and anyway, we introduced ourselves. We were working throughout the day. And then I don't know how it came up, but one of them started talking to me, and they said how they were from Iowa, and all these other kids that were helping us were from Iowa. And just randomly, they asked me if I was a Christian. I said yes. And so they all came from Iowa to Providence, and they started a church. And so now they have Bible studies on campus and stuff. So we're able to have those every week and go to a new church, which is pretty cool. So yeah.
Thank you guys. Mrs. Mack, when do we go to class? Is it 10? 10:15? Yeah, okay. Just watching the clock. I see a couple more hands. I think I'll let you guys ask those questions to the alumni specific. Oh, I have friends showing up. Uh-oh. No, don't stare at them awkwardly, guys. Good, I'm gonna get my group picture after all. Hey guys, we missed you. So come on up. We missed you. Gavin, Michael, calling you out by name. Redo, do it again. No, seriously, come on up and share for a quick second, please. Please? Please? No, okay, so clearly a lot of you recognize those faces back there. Mr. C will see you guys in the picture, I guess. Gavin and Michael just joined us. Any last minute questions before I get a big picture with everybody and the alum? And then scholars, you do have to go learn stuff, and I have to go pick up Chipotle. And I have to give the alumni donuts. No, you have a class party. Donuts are for the alumni. You're on, honey, it's on.
Okay. Did your parents ever find out about the board prank thing?
Did your parents ever find out about the board prank? His mom knew. Okay. They all hid at Cyrus's house. Guys, just a couple more questions. You're doing great.
What was your most embarrassing prank?
Most embarrassing prank. Something like,
We said our friends.
yeah.
Like, pranks, embarrassing who specifically?
Like their classmates? Yourselves. We'll let you guys share that in the after hours Q&A. Just kidding. We don't have one of those.
Did you guys ever get caught doing any pranks?
They knew we did.
And if not, we know now.
They definitely know now.
Who are your favorite teachers?
Oh, that's a good question. Favorite teachers. Favorite teachers.
Favorite teacher?
Obviously, Mr. C is one. Obviously, Miss T is one. Obviously, Mrs. McDougal is one. And Mr. Mack, where's he at? And I think some of you had Mr. Preston too. He's one. But favorite teacher, and I'll add to that, maybe why. Why are they one of your favorites?
I'd have to say it's Mr. C because Mr. C and Mr. McDougal, because both of them over the years that I was here have given me so much encouragement, and it's lasted me through my first year of college, just bringing me back and remembering the words that they told me just helped me a lot. So I really appreciate Mr. McDougal and Mr. Korea for giving me all that advice.
Thank you. I also forgot we have Miss Heiser and Mrs. Roger here too, if you guys forgot. They're lovely teaching selves. Favorite teacher and why? Again, I know I'm all y'all's favorite. That's okay. You don't have to say it. Class advisor, though. I was pretty hyped. You know what, Cyrus? Listen, it was okay. I didn't write you up as many times as I probably could have, so.
Because you didn't have students.
Right, but I had white slips and you were a high schooler, and I'm a high school teacher. All right, Jason.
So for me, I've been in this high school for 3 years. I feel like everyone, I'm saying it broad, but I feel like every teacher is my favorite teacher. Because I came here as an international student, right? I didn't know what to say. I didn't know how to speak English. I think everyone who knows me that came here knows that how bad English I was speaking. I didn't even understand a word. And a lot of teachers just would like to devote their time and just try to help me understand stuff, which they're not entitled to, but they would like to do that. I feel really appreciated about that.
Yeah, I think my teacher would definitely be Mr. Korea, and specifically because I think he was really good at like being patient and really wanting to understand, what is this kid thinking, and like work with them to figure out like how to move forward and like do what they need to do. And he's definitely a star teacher. There's a lot of other good teachers, but he could really handle kids and get them to understand together.
Something really drove his patience.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
I took a baseball bat and sent that thing home.
Anyone else? Any alum want to share?
I have a lot of favorites, but like teaching-wise, one of the nicest ladies I've ever met was Mrs. Rogier. She was a great teacher. Mrs. T obviously was one of them, and then the funniest though is, in my opinion, it was definitely tied for Mr. Korea and Mr. McDougal. I'll never forget Mr. McDougal dancing on prom night. But yeah, that's it.
Oh, thank you. Oh, man. Shucks.
Oh, I have a good Mr. Korea story.
Okay, and we'll close with your Mr. Korea story. Then I want my alumni picture, and then we're all going to take a big group picture because you all love me. Balcony kids are all coming down. Danny, we can cut the stream when I get the alumni in place, okay?
I don't need that.
Oh, Cyrus, don't need this.
I don't need that. It doesn't work out for me either way.
It does.
Not really.
It's a new one.
I couldn't hear it off the speakers. I hear your voice more than the speakers.
I know, because I project.
I remember, I think it was like 2014, 2015, when we DJ'd the Christmas banquet. And Mr. Korea was dancing with his wife. And he comes by the DJ stand and he says, "What a squid," and his wife just walked away from him and left him in the middle of the dance floor. And me and now are in tears, we're laughing so hard.
You just walk up.
His wife's trying to slow dance with him, and he comes over and says, "What a squid." And then his wife is like, "Oh." And then he's in the dance floor. Just laughing at him.
come together to worship you, to honor you, and to have this fellowship time with the alumni. Lord, we thank you that they are your children, that they are where they are, that they are out in the world doing the things that you have designated for them to do. And we just thank you for them. We thank you for sharing their wisdom with us, their advice, their stories. And we just ask that you continue to bless them as they continue to lead the lives that you've designated for them, and that you light a fire into the kids that are here as they are preparing to move out into the world to do the things that you have for them as well, Lord. We just thank you for this morning and the fun that we've had together. And just ask that you bless us the rest of this day and through this vacation while we celebrate the birth of your son and for all the things that you've done for us and given to us. In Jesus' name, amen.
All right, so a couple details. You can turn that all off.